Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English. We welcome you to Daily Flash. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, we got the whole crew here. Matt Doolittle, how are you, buddy?
I am fantastic, and you know what? I bet all you people out there are fantastic too. And you can head over to our website, dailyflashshow.com. There you can send us a note, flash@dailyflashshow.com. We'll share your comments on the show. Send us a like, send us an email, send us all that stuff. You can hit up all of our socials. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and share it with your UPS driver. He's dropping off all those Amazon packages.
You're right.
And the guy that checks all of our social media pages is our social media director. This guy right here, Big Daddy James Alexander.
It's just me. I'm here.
Yes,
I'm
you
happy
are.
to be here.
Yeah, sure. Last week we were talking about Cracker Barrel and all the different changes that were happening, and then the decision to reverse those changes, and that got our viewers a bit riled up.
Yep, and you know what? I love when you comment on our socials, so please keep doing it. But this one came in from Tanya. She had a little conspiracy theory to go along with this, all right? So here's what she says. She says the one thing that Cracker Barrel changed did was give them loads of exposure that they didn't have to pay an ad company to achieve. And you know what? It absolutely did. They got so much bad publicity. I guess they say bad publicity is good publicity,
Yes.
but it was so much bad publicity, and people are still calling for the fire of the CEO. But we have seen that the logo has went back to her original and with a few changes. But Mackenzie says she went to a Cracker Barrel and they still have the bags with the new logo. So
Yeah,
we'll
and
see.
the one down by the airport has the new logo,
New logo.
on it.
New logo.
They
New
changed
logo.
that as well.
I didn't think. I thought the inside of the Cracker Barrel, what they were trying to do, looked great.
I agree.
But
Yes.
they should have left the logo alone.
I think so too, and I think a lot of people would agree with you. They weren't so much upset about the makeover inside, but it was the woke makeover that was inspired and sort
Where
of
it came,
forced down
yeah.
everybody's throat with the change of the logo.
Yeah,
But there is a certain marketing ploy when it comes to. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's almost like a marketing, like the bad, this is the horrible thing this company did. And so then it sort of creates this conversation, and then all of a sudden you feel bad for them, and then they make the change, and they're like, oh, you're a good guy now.
Tradition. They're like,
Yes.
people, and it shows you how much people don't like change, but then sometimes you got to have it change, and there'll probably be slight changes that they wanted to make in the first place. Like kind of like, look at this hand while the
Right.
other hand does something, so we'll see.
Or it could have been a distraction from some bad publicity
Yeah.
about the food
Yeah.
that they were getting, people were being critical of, and so it was a nice.
Well, I told you they made a big menu change, and I hated it. I went there right
Rehearsal.
before I went there on the day all this was announced, and the menu they completely changed it. It was the first time I'd been there in about 6 months. I was like, where's all the stuff I liked? They completely changed it.
Yeah, there you go.
So we'll
All right.
see. There you
James,
go.
how can people get a hold of us if they want to sound off?
Just go to dailyflashshow.com or follow us on our social media channels from TikTok to YouTube to wherever. I am answering all this stuff.
There.
I am running out of fingers.
All right. Thank you there,
Let's give him a hand.
Yeah. You only got 10 of them. There you
James,
go.
thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, we got another talker that we might want you to chime in on, and this started with a trend in Australia. A group of friends decided that they were going to open a joint checking account with one another, right? And this was in order to pool their money for a girls' trip. So now people are talking about, is it a good idea for friends to open a joint checking account? This is a new trend. They say it made it easier for everyone to pay their fair share when they were booking the trip. They're saying it's a way to practice financial intimacy with friends so they can strengthen relationships and keep people honest about what they're spending. Other people say it's an option to avoid those buy now, pay later loans, if you're looking to go on a vacation
High
or
interest.
do something high interest. But trust obviously is the biggest risk. And if one person has credit issues, all the account holders will have the same burden. I'm thinking to myself, if you go on vacation with a group of friends, there's always the one friend that A, forgets the wallet, doesn't have enough money. There's also the other friend that orders 10 bottles of Dom Perignon while you order a Coca-Cola.
And it's that person, Dom Perignon person, usually has the lower paying job for some reason.
100%.
and
so
well,
true.
we're all through that side. I think, and you always will find that one where everybody will help out that one guy in the group.
Always.
That it might need some extra. All right, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I could see this maybe as a savings account. There's a lot of trust if you say checking because you're pulling it out as well. Like if we all did it, we say, I would say, we all do it, only one person has access to it. And we'd have to put a lot, well, it would be you. I don't know. Number one. There you go. It'd be
That's that
Jackson being the only
financial
one to be able to
intimacy.
get to it. Because we all trust that Jackson wouldn't mess it up. But I kind of like the idea about that.
Do you?
I just, it keeps you accountable. It's like, look, you know that the money is building up, and if you're not contributing to it, it's easy to say, look, you've not added any money to it. I also find it interesting, like, now you can split the tab like on Venmo's as well as PayPal. By the way, PayPal just announced, PayPal owns Venmo, right? And always
do
has.
they really?
Yeah. They just announced you can now transfer money from PayPal to Venmo. Two companies, right? It's like, why?
Just still with probably a 50-cent fee or something.
I'm sure there's
yes,
a fee
like
behind
PayPal
it.
does.
But back to this, I like you could split the tab and that sort of thing.
Yes.
I can buy into this. I don't know, I'm not sure who I would want to do it with, but I think it's a good idea.
Right, do you have a friend? Well, with that, they talked about the Venmo angle to this, and they were saying this, this was based on a group of friends who planned a vacation, and that's the reason why they opened a group checking account with friends, so that they didn't have to be at the table and say, Venmo me this, Venmo me that, this is your portion of the bill, this is your portion of the bill. Instead, they're paying with one card to cover the entire bill because it's drawing from their friend group checking account.
I think it's a good idea also because it's like, hey, did you get your ticket yet? Well, I don't know. And then I don't know where, what room are you staying at or whatever. But if one person handles it all, or like it's all coming out of one paycheck and everybody knows, or one account rather, then it's easier to book, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right, and that's where the trust part comes in. And however, if everybody has access to the checking account that's contributing to it, then you probably, there's room for error there. I'm just saying.
You give it to Larry, and Larry has that one bad bender night.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're stuck in Aruba because you can't pay the fee to get out of the country.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bad time.
I mean, do you all have joint checking accounts with your significant others?
Yes, and my own.
And your own.
And she has her own, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, okay.
Nah.
And then what do you pay out of the joint checking account? Is
Your
it
bill.
bills?
I have a discretionary fund, is what we call it. And she was smart enough
An allowance.
for that. She only gave me an ATM card for it. And
With a limit.
well, it doesn't have a limit. Well, I guess it's like a $300 limit because some ATMs won't go past $300. But I never use it because I wind up just using their account to buy stuff. But like if I go out of town, which I'm going to this weekend, at least I know that money is in there. I can go to an ATM and pull it out. So,
All right.
it's a good idea, bad idea. Do you have enough friends to be able to do this?
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic idea. You just got to have some trusting friends.
Very true. Let us know what you think. DailyFlashShow.com.
Well, the U.S. Senate has just passed a resolution declaring October 14th as a National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. This is happening as the world continues to mourn the loss of the conservative commentator who was assassinated on a college campus during a free speech tour. The resolution recognizes Kirk for his contributions to civic education and public service on what would have been his 32nd birthday. It encourages educational institutions, civic groups, and citizens all across the United States to actually observe the day with programs, activities, prayers, even ceremonies to promote civic engagement and the principles of faith, liberty, and democracy that Charlie Kirk had championed. And, take it, whatever you might think of this. This is a great idea that we should be doing anyway, and having a civil talk. And I mentioned this one time, one thing that I really appreciate how he debated is that he always set the not always, majority of the time he would say something and then set the microphone down because we're too quick to talk, want to say something.
Absolutely,
He listened, and that's what it at least portrayed to me, is that you put the microphone down, I'm going to listen to what you have to say, and then when I'm ready to talk, I'll pick the mic up. I like that. It says something.
And I love the idea that he's like, prove me wrong.
And prove me wrong,
Let's
too,
have the conversation. This is how I'm thinking. How do you think? How did you get to that point? How did I get to this point? What kind of common ground do we both have?
We came into a world where we're into a world now where we need to celebrate our differences. And the reason why we do that is that it opens us up, because if we think everybody is thinking the same way that we are, and that they're wrong just because of the way they think. That's the issues that we're going through. It's just, you don't have to agree with somebody. It's just listening to them.
Right.
And I think his quote, which I think is, once we stop talking, that's when the violence starts. And what just happened?
The silence is violence.
Yeah, right.
And if you aren't able to have an open dialogue and agree to disagree on certain things, then where are we headed? And I like the idea of creating this civic space on college campuses where people can have an open debate and obviously bring a different idea to college campuses, because they have been going down a specific narrow road of thought and not allowing room for other people to either feel comfortable sharing different ideas or to have that conversation out in public.
We want to know, what will you do on this day, October 14th?
Yeah.
Is this a good idea? Is it not? Do you agree, disagree? Let us know. Our website is opendailyflashshow.com. You can also drop us an email, flash@dailyflashshow.com as well. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. No doubt, it's very obvious that we live in an age of social and political divide, and maintaining friendships really has never been more challenging. Joining us now is keynote speaker and author of Build Your Village, Florence Ann Romano. She's got some advice on, I love this, the art of agreeing to disagree. Welcome, Florence Ann, and we welcome you back to Daily Flash. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Do you think people even know how to do that anymore?
Right.
People used to. I don't know. I feel like we need to get back to it. So thanks for having me on to talk about it.
I think it's extremely important. And, we surround ourselves just by nature with people that are like-minded. And while there's probably nothing really wrong with that, it's the exclusion of people that might think a little bit different that really is where we grow. And it's very, very important, and especially now more than ever, given the current events. So you say you have 5 tips for us on how we can respectfully have a discussion with someone who may have a little bit of a different view than maybe we might have. Let's start with the first one. You say it's got to be safe, right?
Creating that space for disagreement. I really believe in setting shared intentions from the jump. Say out loud to the person, I'm here to understand. I'm here to be curious, not to win. Establish those ground rules. Maybe that rule is there's no cussing, there's no attacking one another's character. Acknowledge those feelings and not just the facts, because everyone does operate within a different value system.
Oh, I love that. I mean, that's basically you're setting the foundations, just like any sport has rules. You're sitting down and you say, look, I want to have a discussion, but I don't want this to happen. So if it's on everyone's mind, at least you'll also probably won't say as ignorant remarks because you're keeping those things. So think about that, I imagine, right? The second tip is the importance of self-reflection in relationship building, meaning we look at what we're doing, or explain that.
We do have to look at what we're doing, but I also like to focus on people pleasing, because I think everyone happens to be a people pleaser. I always say I'm a recovering people pleaser. I probably will be for the rest of my life. But, people pleasing can affect your self-esteem. It can affect your personal growth. And then you start prioritizing other person needs over your own, and that hinders your growth. It leads to resentment. It leads to burnout. And in many ways, this people pleasing can really affect how we engage one another. So we don't want to do away with our value system. That's not what we're trying to do here as we have these conversations. It's just knowing thyself and understanding that your own well-being, your happiness, all of that matters, but so does the other person's. So making sure that you're leading with that type of ethos, and that personal navigation system is going to help set you up for success.
We are taught to be respectful. We're taught to, make sure other people, we're not being rude and that sort of thing. And so I could see how more and more people think that. And we also, the only time we grow is when we're uncomfortable. Should we be uncomfortable when we're jumping into a conversation like that? Or should we a level of uncomfortability?
No, it's okay to be a little uncomfortable. And that things change on the other side of that. And I like to pay attention to the nonverbal communication, to be honest with you. Take it for an Italian who's like wildly gesticulating all the time. And my face doesn't always have the best poker face. But think about your body language. Think about your facial expressions, your tone of voice. I know there's people out there that are thinking, Florence Ann, why should I have to censor myself? Just let me be myself. Why do I have to do that in order to have these conversations? Well, you have to set the stage for people to let their guard down. They're not going to do that if you're sitting there all disgruntled and mean and grumpy about about it. This is where emotions can get out of hand. They can get the best of you. Because remember, your feelings are never wrong. It's your reaction that can be wrong.
There you go. And I suggest keeping any kind of technology away from you if you want that, because even if like I'm looking at something and that 1 second, he's not paying attention. I mean, that's that nonverbal if you think about it. So that's excellent. Your next tip is using empathy to diffuse tension. You're going to have to give me some examples of this.
Well, funny, when people think about empathy, they think it's okay, I have to put myself in that other person's shoes. I really have to figure out how they're feeling. And yes, that goes to a certain extent, but you don't have to agree in order to validate. That's the important piece of empathy. You can say, I can see how that might be difficult for you. I can see how you're feeling. I can see that from your perspective. And it reassures the other person that they're being heard, even if their viewpoint differs.
It makes you look better. It makes you, everything you've said is leadership qualities. Am I right? I mean,
thank you. I'll take that as a big compliment.
Because whether if we want to or not, we're all going to find ourselves, whether it's a sit down, we know it, or just dealing with other people. I'm sorry, you were speaking.
No, not at all. It is important to think of it from that perspective of leadership. I like that because you are trying to set the stage for something that's hopefully going to be productive and maintain your relationship. If you're talking to someone that is important to you, that you love, then let's make sure we are setting the stage to set that up for success so you can preserve the relationship. And that leads me to the last point, which is finding neutral activities to strengthen bonds.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to sound funny, but it's true. Sometimes the answer is you're just not going to go there. You're just not going to have these conversations. I have had friendships, Mitch, for 30 plus years where I have never had a political conversation, ever. We've done other things in our lives. We've had other conversations. And so it doesn't have to go that way. You don't necessarily have to have these conversations. It has to be mutually agreed upon if you are going to go there. And if someone starts with you and you do not want any piece of it, you can respectfully tell them that you don't want to have the conversation. You can say what you mean without saying it mean. And there is nothing wrong with you setting that boundary as well.
Love that. It seems that when I have 4 kids, and so when we get talking about stuff, it's somehow it'll start edging closer to that political. And sometimes we don't agree on a lot of that. And I know they're my kids, and I just go, you know what? I'll just listen to what you have to say. And sometimes I'm like, am I listening or am I just letting them talk? And I find when I'm listening that we grow a bond together. So I love that.
Yeah.
This is great stuff, man. And you can actually get more information and how we can make this place and this world so much better. For more information on Florence Ann and also get a copy of her book, check out florenceann.com. We'll also have links on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. We have more Flash coming up. Doing a little bit of screen chatter and having more of today's trends. Tomorrow's talk right here on Daily Flash. It'd be very respectful talk, I'm sure. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It's Thursday. That means it's time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. In selected theaters is the new action comedy Code 3. It stars Rainn Wilson.
All we want to do is save your life. Some of you don't make it easy.
Get out of my house! Gun!
I know you can run that fast. Most people on this job can't last a year. They can't hack it.
Take my dollar, You are senior. You get the student.
No.
Is there another paramedic I should put them with? Somebody better than you?
Nobody's better than me.
Let's hit it.
The film follows a paramedic so burnt out by his job that he's forcing himself to resign. However, before he leaves, he must first embark on one last 24-hour shift to train his replacement.
And then to write a great and funny script and then make it actually about something, to have some meaning, to really like address, the American healthcare system and the underbelly of American kind of healthcare dysfunction, income inequality, race stuff, at the same time as being like a fun for the whole family popcorn movie. That is really the rarest of rare.
Code 3 is a funny, touching, and brutal film combining gallows humor with what first responders encounter every day. Again, Code 3 is playing in selected theaters and gets a B. It's not rated. Also in selected theaters is the psychological thriller Him. It stars Marlon Wayans.
There are a lot of people saying you could be the next great quarterback. I can already see it now. Cam running down the tunnel with the crowd chanting his name.
I hear you've been invited to train with legend Isaiah White himself. Care to elaborate?
I want to be the GOAT. Cameron King. Great meeting you. I'm a fan. That's crazy. I damn near worshiped you growing up.
A young athlete descends into a world of terror when he's invited to train with a legendary champion whose charisma curdles into something darker.
You know, I think there's so many different elixirs to take from this movie, and one of them is also, hey man, if you're gonna be a GOAT, you gotta do the work. You gotta be an animal. You gotta be willing to die for this. How badly do you want it? And I will tell every child that dreams to be something, it's all about the work. If you want to do that dream, you want to fill those shoes, it's about how many hours are you logging at being great at, you know, what you do. You want to be the best you could be. You look in the mirror and go, I'm not good enough. I always look in the mirror and go, I'm not good enough. So that's why I started doing stand-up when I was 38 years old, because I was like, there's more for me. And so I'm really developing into that thing that I've always wished and I'm working to be.
Him is a disturbing and deep film about control and the pursuit of being the best of the best, no matter what it takes. Again, Him is playing in selected theaters and gets an A. It's rated R. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Hey, you know, this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Danielle Andrea is partnering with Allergan Aesthetics. Doctor, what is Natrel, and actually, what is making this really the leader when it comes to breast reconstruction?
So Natrel is actually the #1 breast implant selected by plastic surgeons with a collection of 300 different options to choose from. They offer the most comprehensive portfolio with smooth breast implants that have 5 different profiles, and they all have minimal to maximal fullness. There's 3 different types of gummy gels for different levels of softness. And during consultations, we recommend that patients actually hold and compare the 3 different types of gel. And this experience really helps patients to understand the subtle differences and reinforces the brand's commitment to personalizing that implant for the patient and comfort for the patient.
You know, one of the biggest parts, of course, when going through this surgery, any kind of surgery, is the healing process. What role does reconstruction actually play in that process?
So reconstruction is becoming more and more common, and it really helps to empower women during their breast cancer surgery. It allows them to help them restore their sense of wholeness. And according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, reconstructive procedures rose by 2% in 2024, making it one of the fastest growing categories. Advancements in surgical techniques are allowing us to have more highly personalized breast reconstruction outcomes, and surgeons are able to recreate the desired look that the patient wants, whether it's just what they had pre-mastectomy or something larger or smaller.
Why is transparency in breast aesthetics so important, really, in this day and age?
So this year, we're actually starting to see more and more transparency with aesthetics. Patients and public figures alike are opening up about what treatments they chose, and this is really helping to break down the stigmas around breast procedures and empowers people to make informed decisions about their appearance. Whether patients desire to enhance their size or looking to restore more fullness, Natrel really offers a lot of options to help find a silhouette that they will love. Based on their available tissue, their body structure, their aesthetic goals, surgeons can help patients identify the profile and size that's right for them.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
Yep, indeed. We love having you along for this ride.
And we also have Matt Doolittle giving us a spotlight on our stations across the nation. Matty.
Our 219 beautiful stations all over this country, all of our streamers, our YouTubes, and our American Forces Network, and of course our great TV stations out there. And you can find those all on dailyflashshow.com. Today we are heading to KYTL in Twin Falls, Idaho.
Yeah!
They have the Shoshone Falls, the Niagara of the West.
The Niagara of the West.
Okay. Falls. Well, interesting. Okay. All right. This is. I'm going to go to Michigan for this story, in Lansing, Michigan. I'm going to tell you what happened. An 11-year-old actually got kicked out of school. Okay. Here's what happened. So his dad takes him hunting. He's very familiar with guns. Okay. And he respects the guns. Well, he goes to school, 11 years old in Lansing, and basically one of his classmates brings a gun into school. Well, this kid, he's 11 years old, he says, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He takes the gun from him, takes all the bullets out, throws the bullets into a trash can, disassembles the gun, all right, because he's very familiar, and he goes, dude, you can't do this, and took it away, basically, so that the other kid couldn't use it. Well, the only thing he didn't do was tell somebody about it. They found out about the gun, and now the kid has been expelled from school altogether.
You're kidding me.
And he's in 7th grade. He disarmed that arm, his classmate, and threw away the bullets. And the mom is coming out, talking to the school board, saying, my son was protecting other kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, he didn't come to tell somebody about it. And so far, the school district has not responded back to him about what to do this.
Wow.
And his mom's saying, listen, you did something heroic, but the district has really not explained why it's punished altogether. And I think that we should teach our kids, see something, say something altogether.
Yes.
But I know as a 7th grader that, when I was a 7th grader, I knew it was a
Couple
seventh
years
grader,
ago.
a couple years ago, is that this is the time where you don't tell them, snitches get stitches,
Stitches,
right?
right.
And he probably didn't want to get his friend in trouble, and he thought he was
Probably.
doing the right thing altogether. I'm certain that people are going to have an opinion on this.
Does it seem like these days the world is upside down and common sense has gone completely out the
Yes.
window?
Yep.
I don't understand why there is not an adult in the room to stand up to that school board, other than the mom, to say, are we out of our mind? This kid could possibly save this school from a horrible tragedy. Can we give a little bit of grace and a little understanding? And these people are supposed to be school officials. Don't they understand the dynamics of kids at that age? And the fact that he was able to disarm this kid and disarm the weapon.
Get the gun away from him.
Yeah,
I
I
know-
mean, kudos to him.
I know when I was in grade school and high school, middle school, all that, the dumbest thing I ever heard was zero tolerance for it. We don't even
Yeah.
care what the explanation is.
Yeah.
Zero
And I think
tolerance.
that's
It's-
what
it's-
Yeah.
Well, no.
That's
But
what they're
there's
using.
you have to take it case by case
Yes.
instead of just slapping zero tolerance all over.
Yeah.
They're going by the letter of the law instead of the spirit of the law. And
Ooh, that's good.
if
Yeah.
he was doing something right, and that should be taken into effect, and say, okay, you know what, you did break the rules, because if, let's say you've made an oath that you're supposed to, if you see something, you're supposed to say something. Let's just say that's out there, hypothetically. However, does that mean he should get expelled altogether when he felt like he was doing the right thing? Or maybe look at it and say, you know what, that he felt like he was doing the right thing. Let's give him maybe a suspension or in-school suspension or something along those lines.
But why suspend him
Right.
anyway? But to me, that sends the message of like, well, then if this happens again, no kid's going to step forward to help out or to stop something.
That's a good point.
Because what's the point? If I'm going to get suspended for trying to do what I think is the right thing, then I'm getting punished for. The best example is the Daniel Penny thing, in New York City, where he stepped
right.
up to try and protect people on the subway train, and then he gets tried for murder. It's like, so what are you telling people? Like, what kind of message are you sending to society when it comes to, protecting people? Another example, the poor woman on the train that was stabbed to death.
Gosh.
Not a single person on that train helped that woman. Probably why? Because they were afraid of being accused of something or having to go to trial for God only knows what. And this is a perfect example of
Excellent example. Quick.
Fire the school board. Let's fire them
Fire the
all.
school
There you
board.
go.
is what it
Fire
is.
the school board.
All right, we know you have an opinion about this.
Yes.
What we need is your thoughts. Drop us an email, flash@dailyflashshow.com, and we will definitely read for sure
Yes.
your email. James does it.
James
And
will do it,
on
for
social
sure.
media as well. More Flash. Right after this. Air, land, and sea. It is time for a little flash travel. Listen, all right, when you think of travel, most people think of summer vacations or the holiday rush, right? But want to know where the real sweet spot is? Fall. Think about it. The crowds are smaller, the weather is better, and the deals, oh man, the deals are huge. So today on Flash Travel, I'm going to bring you 5 easy fall travel hacks that's going to save you money, time, and maybe even your sanity, believe it or not. Hack number 1, flexible dates, big savings. Flexibility is your best friend. It's the time of year when the airlines start dropping fares because demand falls off a cliff. Use tools like Google Flights or Hopper or that flexible dates button and watch the prices just drop. Sometimes you'll see airfare 30 to 40% cheaper just by leaving a day earlier or even a day later. By the way, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, those are the golden days. It's like happy hour for airfare. And let's be real, if you can handle missing one day of work, your wallet will actually probably thank you. Now, let's talk about fall colors. You know, everyone thinks New England is the only option, right? Yeah, it's stunning, but it's expensive and it's packed. Here's the hack. Hit those underrated spots. Michigan's UP, gorgeous. The Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, breathtaking. The Ozarks in Arkansas, incredible. You get the same golden hues, but half the price on hotels and restaurants. And because it's less touristy, you're not going to be fighting the crowds for that one Instagram spot. Plus, if you post a pic of red leaves, listen, no one's going to know if it's Vermont or Kansas. They just hit the like button and move on. Number 3, pack smart. Think layers, not luggage. Fall weather can't really make up its mind. It's 50 degrees in the morning, 75 in the afternoon, and then 40 at night. The trick is to pack clothes you can actually mix and match really well, like light jackets, hoodies, scarves. This saves you from overpacking and, most importantly, from paying those ridiculous baggage fees. Delta just raised their checked bag price to $40 each way. That's $80 just to move your clothes around the country, and that's also the same $80 I'd be spending on pizza wherever I wound up. 4th, and this is actually a big one, book your holiday travel right now. Thanksgiving and Christmas flights, they're already creeping up. And if you wait until November, you're going to be paying double. September and October are those sweet spots for buying, and it's not just about price, it's also about choice. By now, you're picking your seat, not that seat. Wait, you're also not sitting in the middle seat in the bathroom right next to it. Nobody wants that. Trust me, nothing says happy holidays like sitting next to a stranger eating a tuna sandwich while your family 3 just rose up. Really not that great. Finally, embrace the shoulder season. This is the golden window between summer and the holidays. Resorts are still open, but the tourists are all gone. You get half-empty beaches, half-price hotel deals, and double the attention from staff. Europe is still beautiful in the fall, Rome, Paris, even Barcelona, but without the chaos of summer tour groups. Same with Florida beaches or Mexico. The weather's still great, but you're not waiting an hour for a table. It's kind of like having Epcot all to yourself minus the $25 Dole Whip. So let's review it. When it comes to fall travel, the smartest moves are simple. Be flexible with your dates, grab the lowest fares, find colorful destinations outside crowded hotspots, pack layers so you can travel light and skip bag fees, and lock in the holiday prices right now before the prices spike. And take full advantage of the shoulder season where resorts are cheaper and crowds are gone. Got some other travel hacks? Well, we definitely want to know about them. Just go to flashtraveltv.com and there, we'll take care of you. We'd love to travel the world with you. Why not join us by commenting on our Facebook page? Just look for Flash Travel TV on Facebook. Leave your comments there. An even faster way, as I said, just go to flashtraveltv.com and it'll take you directly there. We got more Daily Flash coming up. We travel around the country. Stick around.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Hey, listen up, you gamers. There is a new 2-in-1 tablet that is being called, seriously, the best gaming tablet. Let's say you've outgrown your gaming phone or you need something a little bit more versatile than just a handheld. Well, the Asus ROG Flow Z13 packs an incredible graphics system. The Windows device kind of looks like a laptop, but guess what? You could pop off the keyboard and then it's a full tablet with a pixel camera attached. Most importantly, though, it's the perfect gaming tablet. The tablet's fast tech specs make it perfect for gaming gaming and really for any computer needs. It has a flashy see-through back panel, a sturdy kickstand, all with premium accessories. Definitely gives a very good and strong first impression. The Rogue Flow Z13 car is a little different style of gaming, striking superior balance of power as well as convenience. The hardware inside is incredible. The general performance, unbelievable, and the capabilities of this device are really its biggest selling points. It's unmatched by most other platforms that are out there. There is nothing like it on the market, so let's take a look at this gaming in action. Edward, tell me, what do you think about gaming really with the Asus ROG Flow Z13? It looks incredible.
It looks incredible. I feel very cool using this machine.
Yeah.
The games run pretty smooth, and it being compact allows me to just game anywhere nowadays.
So it's changed the way that you actually game, it sounds like,
It
right?
has, yeah. It allows me to just be more present online.
So we say ROG, R-O-G, it's the Republic of Gamers. You're a gamer. I guess the need was, you have computer work you got to do, but you also love to play games.
Oh, yeah.
This kind of combines it together so you can do your work at home and then game on the way to work on the bus.
I can catch streams online, being, it's a laptop, it's also a tablet, and I can also just take some time to unwind and play games.
And I can make sure you're working because of the camera. You can take pictures and stuff. I really like it. It's really, really cool. It is sharp. Overall, would you recommend this machine?
Yeah.
This thing's really, really cool. Edward, great gaming pointers you got there. You should find out more for yourself. The Asus ROG Flow Z13. It's a 2-in-1 tablet. Give it a try. And I think it's time for me to play a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to play.
Mitch, thank you. Well, there's a brand new partnership between Ace Hardware and DoorDash, and here to break it all down is home improvement expert Catherine Emery. Hi, Catherine.
Well, thank you so much for having me. All right, picture this. You're in the middle of a home improvement project and you've forgotten just that one item. Or you want to spruce up your yard before your guests arrive. Or if you're like me and you've gotten a jump start on holiday decorating, but you forget a zip tie or an extra skeleton, well, great news, because Ace Hardware is teaming up with DoorDash to bring all of your home improvement needs directly to you in an hour. Ace is the first nationwide home improvement co-op offered on DoorDash, and with more than 4,000 stores across the country participating, this is a game changer for DIYers, busy homeowners, and contractors, making it easier than ever to shop local and get what you need fast delivered straight to you. And you know what? It is so easy to use. So you're just going to open your DoorDash app or go to DoorDash.com, look for that Ace Hardware storefront, and let the shopping begin. Thousands of items right there at your fingertips. Cleaning, hardware, hobby, and more. Once you place that order, a Dasher is going to pick it up from your local Ace and deliver it to your doorstep, usually in under an hour. This is real-time delivery for real life situations. And you know what? You're gonna wanna take advantage of this right now, because during the month of September, you're gonna get some savings. So you're gonna get from 40 to 25% off. If you're a Dash Pass member, remember the code 40ACE. Everybody else, remember the code 25ACE. And guess what? If you haven't tried DoorDash yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and start, because you're gonna get additional savings. Everything you see right here, I ordered from the comfort of my couch, because you know what? DoorDash is my lifeline. I'm a busy mom, I'm a busy homeowner. I got all of my fall fix-up stuff for my home and a lot of stuff for Halloween, just simply in the app. I love the gift of convenience and time here. So to learn more, open your DoorDash app, go to DoorDash.com, find the Ace Hardware storefront. All of the details about the savings are in there, and happy shopping.
The creators of the Got Milk campaign are celebrating 30 years with real California icons. Here's their story.
To celebrate 30 years since the Got Milk mustache became a cultural phenomenon, the California Milk Processor Board, CMPB, is rewriting history. For the first time ever, the iconic mustache will feature everyday Californians from their Got Milk photo studio tour. Teachers, small business owners, athletes, and artists who keep the state moving. Actor Noah Schnapp of Stranger Things was on hand to unveil it.
It's about real Californians, real icons, people who represent what makes this state so unique and so inspiring. Walking through the gallery tonight and seeing all these beautiful portraits is so powerful, and each one tells a story. Each one represents resilience and the culture that makes California what it is today.
And to take the photos this year, it wasn't Annie Leibovitz, as in years past, but a young Mexican-American photographer named Aldo Chacon, chosen for his ability to reflect the authenticity, diversity, and pride that define California today. See them for yourself at gotmilk.com/30 years or at gotmilk on Instagram, #gotmilk30.
According to the CDC, as many as 7 million Americans over the age of 65 are suffering from depression. Here's more about how genetic testing could make it easier for our seniors to get help.
One of the biggest barriers in geriatric depression is just the recognition that as we age, it's not healthy that we socially isolate ourselves, that we withdraw, or that we experience feelings of hopelessness, and that there's help available, talking to your loved ones, talking to friends, talking to family, and talking to your healthcare provider.
I had just retired, and I had always taken my grandkids to school every morning for 18 years. Well, they're in college, and I don't have anything to do and get up in the morning. So what am I going to do all day? So I knew that I needed to go see Dr. Ranchero. So he did the gene test, and it came back that I was over medicated. So he adjusted my medication, and he put me on the right track, and I've been happy and a different person ever since.
GeneSight testing is a simple test that we do, a simple cheek swab that we take, and it's done once in your lifetime. You can go to genesight.com to get more information.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. September 30th is the deadline for EV tax credits. Here's Nick Miles with what you need to know and who qualifies.
One of the most asked questions I have had in the last 30 days is what vehicles are still eligible for that $7,500 EV tax credit before it disappears on September the 30th. So here's the list. We'll start with Kia, who are hitting a home run with their EV GMP platform. The EV6 is more than just a crossover, it's a design statement. While it's comfortable and practical with up to 282 miles of range, it can also be a rocket ship. For families, the EV9 is essential, a living room on wheels. It's one of the few three-row EVs that actually is comfortable for adults in the back. With a range of up to 304 miles, the EV9 is an incredibly versatile family machine. While the SUVs are strong contenders, the main event for Chevrolet is the Silverado EV. The other Chevrolet EVs, the Blazer and Equinox, also qualify. Cadillac's Lyriq is a luxury SUV offering a serene ride. It'll be joined by the smaller Optiq and the three-row Vistiq. Built on GM's Ultium platform, the Honda Prologue and Acura ZDX benefit from the proven EV architecture. Hyundai's Ioniq 5 continues to win awards for its retro futuristic design and is joined by the highly anticipated Ioniq 9. The F-150 Lightning remains a top contender. The only plug-in hybrid on our list is Chrysler's Pacifica minivan. The electrified GV70 qualifies because it's assembled in Alabama. Jeep is entering the EV space with a bang. The all-new, all-electric Wagoneer S is a statement piece. Tesla has a wide range of eligibility, provided you stay under the price cap. This includes Model 3 long range, most trims of the best-selling Model Y, the larger Model X, even the Cybertruck. Driving the EV6 from Kia. I'm Nick Miles.
You know, it's actually really great. I think we're not where we need to be as far as me going completely electric, car. Yeah. And that's what I like about the hybrid is I can always, fill up gas. I don't have to worry about it. But I see we need to move closer into getting into the hydrogen. Those cars seem the best.
You've always talked about the hydrogen. I think they're slowly starting to roll that out, or at least the idea of it.
Because the exhaust is water. That's what goes, and it seems like so many people should be on board for this because it makes the
steam engine.
Steam engine, if you think about it, right? All right, we have not run out of steam. Matter of fact, we just need a little break, and we'll be back tomorrow.